All right, folks, welcome to a fun play all three. This is the we're near the tail end of the group. This is the final round in the what people thought was the group of death coming into this. And we've got TaToH, who is confirmed to be third, regardless of what happens here. He could lose 3, he could win 3, he still will end up in third place behind Viper and behind Leary. TaToH will be in the playoffs against Doubts. That is confirmed. Looking forward to that series. Still, obviously, $40 to fight for per win. And TaToH would love to see the group look like 12 for Leary, 12 for Viper, and 11 for him. I'm sure that would feel a lot better than being down at 8 wins where he is now. TaToH is the favorite. He's playing as the Cumans here on Hideout, something he has done before. And then in the blue, we've got the Vietnamese for Sobek, who is also unfortunately set to be relegated. Technically, if he were to get 2 wins or more, he goes into 5th place, which means he's still relegated, but he gets like a slightly different placement in his group in gold next time because the 5th place players are separate from the 6th place players when they get relegated. But yeah, like that's not something on Sobek's mind, right? It's not like, oh, we need to get a big win here to still be relegated. And then we have a slightly different group in gold. That's just not what you think about. So, I mean, Sobek has looked good, right? But Classic Pro was the player who was able to get on above he and Vivi, and that was kind of what I predicted. I felt like Classic Pro, I mean, he'd been in Platinum before. He plays such a high level. I felt like he was always going to be good. But honestly, I think Sobek will show today why he's here, and Sobek will put up a lot of fight in these games. Sobek was a surprise for me that he had won his group in gold. He's a player who's been around a very long time, but it was really sick to see him win his group, actually, in gold the previous season. And it wouldn't surprise me when he bounces back down to gold if he could eventually make it back here. I think this season will have been a good experience for him, and also he will have learned a lot. So, Vietnamese, cheaper eco upgrades, faster researching eco upgrades. I was thinking that maybe players could test out doing a little feudal boom with the Vietnamese, kind of like players do with the Malay. Mix wheelbarrow into the equation because that researches quickly. Their late game's insane. Like, I think Vietnamese are actually a good counter to the Malay, which players pick for the feudal boom. But TaToH's #1 pick was for this map, and it was the Cumans. And TaToH is, in my opinion, the best Cuman player. He's the best player at making use out of that second TC in Feudal Age, and that's what he'll be planning on here. And they're pretty far away as well, right? Like, it's funny, the last time we did Hideout, it was similar, where the bases were right smack dab in the middle of the wood, but that doesn't always happen. There is some level of variance. I do not know what the variance is. I've just simply noticed the variance here, but TaToH's going to click up. There he goes. 4 seconds of TC idle time in Dark Age. Such a noob, this TaToH. But also Sobek clicks up. Our difference, obviously, is Sobek can't make the second TC. But I'm actually really curious to see how this goes. Double lumber camp. 8 on wood. I mean, he had Malay. And Malay are more known for this. So the fact that he's picked Vietnamese for it tells me that he thinks this is really good. I had been thinking about this for the last month or two. I think the best place, the best way to make use of this is if you factor in getting wheelbarrow, though, because the faster researching and discounted ecotex is good for the wood and farm upgrade, but it's not like that insane. The Malay research going to the next age faster means they'll end up having more vills because they spend less time researching the age. So more villagers is awesome. In a way, you researching wheelbarrow faster does also mean you get an extra villager or 2. Not fully in love with this either compared to a potential just straight fast castle. But we'll see. Is Sobek going to try it out? There's the second TC from TaToH. Fat Dragon says, who's the Cuman pro? I haven't really seen Vivi playing as Cumans, though. If it's Burgundians, that's the Fat Dragon. Fat Dragon, Burgundians, all day. I mean, maybe Yo might have something to say about that. Okay, look, really fast wheelbarrow. But is that too fast? Because wheelbarrow helps when you have lots of farms. I don't know. He's clearly testing some things here for us. He did get it early. And it was very fast. And TaToH needs to work towards his farming eco here, and he'll have a massive Vil lead in the long run. Leary's macro behind is impeccable. Probably the best at pressure with macro behind. Viper and Hera are greedier. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think, like... Yeah, Viper, Hera are definitely greedier when comparing them. The issue, I guess, is in a mixed map tournament, you don't always have a position if you're Leary to make use of that excellent balance of constant aggression with macro behind. Sometimes it's more of an eco game. Sometimes, so it's not, you know, like the crossbow play, which Leary likes, isn't as strong. It might be more monks or cav. Like, that's where I think Leary runs into trouble. But yeah, I mean, I get the thinking behind going Vietnamese here for Sobek. But I think I would have still preferred Malay for this. And, I mean, humans just feel like the best on hideout. Like, there's a reason people have been banning them. This Civ's insane. That game that TaToH lost against Classic Pro was against humans on Golden Pit. Like, TaToH has won with humans. And he has lost 2 humans, so he picked them first. Humans lost on Spiral because players have tried them there. I don't think they've ever lost on Hideout, but then again, I think they're undefeated on Golden Pit and undefeated on Hideout, but this is maybe only the second time I've seen them on Hideout because people keep banning it. And I think there was only one time we saw it on Golden Pit. So it's kind of hard. Like, if I say that, it's like, whoa, what a crazy stat. They're undefeated. But out of how many games? There's the market for Sobek. Res collected. Oh, yeah, the humans did lose. Classic Pro lost with humans against Viper. Res collected's really nice. Yeah, that was an epic game. Viper did everything perfectly there. Look at TaToH. He did the same against Leary when he was humans. He's adding a barracks. And against Leary, he actually made outposts along the side. But I think he just wants a couple extra scouts so Sobek can't castle drop him or something. But Sobek's not doing that. So Sobek's going to have amazing resource setup to be able to go for the second and third TC. But he's behind by 12 villagers already. TaToH will research wheelbarrow. Obviously, that takes a bit of time. So TaToH is in a really nice position. But so this is typically what happens, right? The humans gain the Vil lead. They create all these farms or build all these farms. They have to get the food eco to click up because they're spending a lot of food. They will eventually click up to castle, obviously. And then they're going to have so much food because they're going to have 17 farms and one of their TCs is not going to be producing Vils because it's going to castle. So it's using those resources to push. That's usually the play. Or instead of just a 2 TC boom into a push, you go for like the 3rd and 4th TC. I don't love the 3rd and 4th TC because I feel like the later the game goes, the better the Vietnamese get. So I feel like you'd want to pressure. But yeah, things to think about. Like, how do humans stop Vietnamese options? I guess Halb SO could kind of counter everything, but the TaToH going to stone, I think, is him telling us already his plan is to actually add at least a 3rd TC. And, well, actually, no, it would make sense for a 4th TC. Well, hold on, it depends. If he keeps sending more to stone, this might actually be map control into a forward castle. We'll see. That could still mean a couple different things. All right, so 2nd TC, 3rd TC for Sobek. Wood upgrade, farm upgrade. Still's going to have the food to produce out of 3 TCs. His Vil count's going to catch up. He can still make scouts as well. But, I mean, he's obviously really far behind in villagers. Like, this is just ridiculous. I think Malay could have better Vil count. As for better eco upgrades and timings on that, I don't think the melee could. But at least the melee would have more vills. So I guess it would depend on your preference. The first pick for Sobek was melee. In case I didn't say that before. The TaToH sees his opponent has a stable. So we'll expect scouts. Those scouts will be critical for Sobek to prevent TaToH from going for a forward castle. I think TaToH wants the forward castle, but I think he's not going to get it as easily as he likes. So he will drop at least the third TC. That's just my read on the situation. It's like, you're still, like, you don't want to take the risk to just wander forward just yet if you know your opponent has scouts and you haven't killed them. Could go for a defensive castle, make a couple kip checks to help for the map control, and then have the next castle be forward too. But yeah, still a 20 villager lead for TaToH. Humans are insane. Ridiculous build from TaToH. That is true. The relics do look much closer to TaToH. But Vietnamese also have Imperial Skirmisher. They've got amazing halbs. They have bombard cannons. They get wood. See this spear? This spear's like... this spear's like... Na boo boo, you can't catch me. Spearman just taunting that guy. We'll see. Oh, he pays the price. Never taunt your opponent, guys. Never taunt your opponent. What are you doing? There's going to be TC number 3 for TaToH. And then the monastery, as he'll aim to get relics, does lose a scout to the spearman from Sobek. And loses another scout. A little sloppy from TaToH. But I think he was quick walling here. Because he had no loom. So good job he got the quick wall down, but losing the scout control kind of hurts. And Sobek on 3 TCs. He's still 15 villagers behind. Res collected. TaToH was just so far ahead. But TaToH can't use those resources to push out right now. So Sobek could delay, and Sobek could maybe go for a 4th TC himself here. He'll obviously know TaToH kills a monk. Well played. TaToH killed 2 monks! And they fell down and died in the same way. Oh, jeez. That was clutch from TaToH. It goes from losing a scout or 2 to sniping 2 monks. Totally worth it. But yeah, Sobek will obviously know that TaToH was on 2 TCs already. So having seen this and having seen this, he should know his opponent's got a big boom. I think he adds his 4th TC just due to that fact. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to catch up all that easily to this eco. I love the eco upgrades, though. Like rushing handcart early, wheelbarrow, wood food. Like, those upgrades are great. Problem is, TaToH's paid full price for those upgrades and researched them at normal speed. And TaToH already has them, too. Humans also don't need to research husbandry. They just get the faster cav, which means that Sobek, his scouts are going to be chased down. I think he's considering husbandry right now. Or I think he has husbandry. But what's the castle age speed on a scout? Is it 1.45? The light cav went down. Nice job from Sobek to finally try and get a relic, which we've established they're all closer to TaToH. Or not all, but, you know, most. Which is unfortunate for Sobek. TaToH not pressuring. This seems to be the most important area where the action to go down because of the gold positions. And scouts for Sobek. 1 goes down. I think he did get husbandry. I never really thought about this. That the way the human speed bonus works, because they're calved slightly faster in each age, that human scouts would actually, or human light cav would be faster than scouts. That's actually kind of nice. TaToH drops the castle here. Would not surprise me at all if Sobek's thinking about pressuring that area. But to do so blindly right now would obviously be very risky. Even being out here is very risky at the moment. I think he realizes that. He just sees this random light cav show up. And honestly, it just feels inevitable that TaToH wins this game. TaToH's got a massive eco lead. And it's not like Sobek did a lot wrong. It's just TaToH has an amazing civ, and he knows how to use it really well. Very defensive castle. Great job from TaToH to use the map control. 8-4 KD. He will click imp in a moment. There he goes. Similar imp times for both. 4 relics for TaToH, and just 1 for Sobek. All right, ideal army comp against humans. Assuming the humans aren't going to go onager. I would say would be like Halb, Rats, and Archer. Halb, Rats, and Archer would be sick. So I think you pushing an early imp is out of the question. I think it's more so defense until a death ball and then potentially push. Would love to see maybe some stone walls here from Sobek so you don't get raided because the humans have the speedy cav, like we've established. He's made spears. He's making Rattan, so I think he's thinking like I'm thinking. We'll take time to build that up and get upgrades, of course. Both players have patrolled here. And TaToH maybe wanting a little bit of map control here with these kip checks. We'll see the spears, but won't actually see the pikeman upgrade and won't see any upgrades. So TaToH might... I mean, I feel like if you see the extra spears, you kind of know. But TaToH might make some incorrect conclusions. He might have just caught a glimpse of the Rattans, though. That was my point, is... Does he know his opponent's going Rattans? This is never something you can ever do on Hideout. This is like, oh, just big risks being taken, right? Just leaving your villagers exposed. TaToH already had light cap out on the field. And Sobek is going to get punished for this massively. TaToH's just going to pick him apart. If you leave open opportunities like that, you are going to get picked apart by raids. And TaToH's outposting already a sign that he's thinking about maybe building buildings there. So first villager goes down for Sobek, plus the villagers pull off of stone, which delays the castles, delays the Rattans. And TaToH did lose a villager here. What did Sobek ban and why wasn't it humans? Fair point. I do actually want to check it real quick, and we'll be right back into the game. Burgundians and Japanese. Probably banned Japanese because of Coast to Mountain. He did win with Burgundians on this map in the past, so he probably felt like, oh man, look at TaToH here. TaToH has actually built a house as part of Sobek's wall. And then he can just delete his house and come in. Wow, that is so sick from TaToH. He blocked the quick wall with his own quick wall. Or like his own house foundation. And I don't think Sobek can actually protect this TC now. Oh, wait. That villager actually may be able to complete the TC. Great play from TaToH, though. And it just feels like life is just breezy and easy for TaToH because... I mean, he's had Cav, and like that is an opportunity that he's taken. This was an opportunity he was given, and he's taken. All the while, just expanding that eco. And this is TaToH's favorite civilization on Hideout. TaToH's just going to swing sides now. This had to be walled up, in my opinion. I think this needs to be protected and walled, and you just got to force the issue here. I think that's the only way you really have a chance. You just can't compete with the speed of the humans. TC did get denied at 97%. They just, pikemen now coming in for Sobek. Res collected. Watch this, guys. Sheesh. Gotten way worse. TaToH's ahead in everything off that 2 TC into 4 TC boom. Nah, this is rough for Sobek. He's so many steps behind now. The Rats and Archers are... You can get why you've sent army over here. You're going to build up pikes as well, but they're going to be found. TaToH just gets directly in front of them in the choke that could have been walled. Bomp. Disaster for Sobek here, and this is going to shock you guys. TaToH's going in on the other side now. He's like, I'll take the north, I'll take the south, I will take these lands from you with my hussars and with my kipchaks. And Hussar Kipcheck isn't that expensive either, so on the back of 140 vills, you're taking good trades, and then you could have resources for Siege Ram, Siege Onager, and TaToH will see a castle here from Sobek, but this has been a rough game here for poor Sobek. And honestly, a great deal of it is just not giving TaToH humans available. He probably was hoping that, because the way the draft worked here, TaToH gets the first pick, but it's only one. And so then Sobek's first round of picks is 2 picks. So he was thinking maybe TaToH would never pick humans first, but He's probably regretting it now. I do appreciate the Vietnamese play. Like, I appreciate what he tried. I think the boom itself is really good. But just, there's no Civ that can compete with the Cumin boom, in my opinion. Not on hideout. And TaToH, at least with TaToH doing it. Like, TaToH makes it look so easy, man. And what's TaToH doing? He's going for Onager. So TaToH has taken the north, controlled it, castled it, has raided the south, has pushed Sobek back. Sobek's like, okay, I've finally stabilized. He hasn't really, but, you know, think about it. I'm going to be on Halb. I'm on Ratens. This is what we want. We got the castles producing. We got the stack. We've got 170 pop. This is our moment. I'm excited. My mom is going to be so proud. Also, this is a vision bug. Check that out. That bug's been in the game for like 6 months. I don't know what causes it. The devs are aware, but that's very weird. But yeah, anyways, TaToH is then just going to push middle. Really, really nice. And obviously the Hussars are going to be okay there. I know that a certain player, a certain caster, certain friend of mine is not a fan of the kip check. But you guys know the kip check's good, right? It's the timing in combination with the Hussars. And again, it is the cost. Yes, it's weak with just one unit if it's a 1v1 battle. But it fires really freaking fast. And you can make so many of them. The Hussar kip check is just so good. And here, Sobek going to potentially deny this castle. I expect click walls from TaToH. Whoop! Might see rats and archers come down here to fully deny it. Nice job from TaToH. He comes in here now. I take Dave's opinion on all things AoE as fact. You're living life on the edge. That's funny. Elite rats and archers in. So elite rats and archer should do amazing against the kip check. I think they take 1 damage from the kip check. Yeah, they're fully upgraded. Full armor and everything. This unit's insane. TaToH's castle here is still on the way. And TaToH is just taking control of these different areas so he can figure out when to apply the finishing touches to this game. I'm telling you, Dave needs to be a kip check for Halloween. He could pull that off. He couldn't pull off the muscles and the mean look they have on their face, but he could just, like, get a ponytail and just, like, tape it to the back of his head. Could ride into a Halloween party looking like a kip check. Who wouldn't want to do that? He doesn't like that joke. So I make these jokes when he's not here. I'm sorry, Dave. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Rats and archers need to protect these bomber cannons. And TaToH clearly just patrolled here. Look how little damage the Ratens take from archer units. It's amazing. Kip checks melt. The Hussars dive in, though. TaToH's still 2k gold. He's barely spent gold on anything, it feels like. And snipes the bomber cannons just like that. Onager cut is in. Two. Rams are here. It's not as fast of a train. Because it's not Mongols, unfortunately. But this is all TaToH was building up for. Castled the south, castled the north. Forced some type of engagement here. And then he rams right into Sobek's base. This is what happened, what Viper did to Sobek as well. Now, Viper was Mongols. But he Onager cut through and then siege rammed the main eco from poor Sobek. And TaToH's castle will go up, and he knows it. There's never a question in his mind. TaToH's been in this situation so many times with the Cumin. Full upgrades on the kip checks. And Sobek is going to have to tap out here shortly because he's not going to have a base anymore. He'll have 200 pop. Right? He's built up a sizable eco and army, but he just can't move anywhere. Can't do anything. Yeah, TaToH had a great plan and nothing derailed it. That's kind of the way to say it. And it's hard to derail said plan on hideout, right? Or with the Vietnamese, right? If you picked a civilization where you weren't just booming and you applied pressure, then maybe that's your chance to derail the strat. TaToH's made this look so easy. He's so impressive with this civilization. He'll find some kills there. And TaToH just sees the bombard cannon, runs in, snipes it, runs away. First game of the series. Sobek going to fight on a little bit longer, but I expect the GG to come in any moment. And yep, there it is. TaToH dominates. Sobek didn't do himself any favors on the draft. I can't actually be overly critical of Sobek based on like his own Civ selection and TaToH Civ. But the one thing I'll say is allowing TaToH to raid you here was a mistake. I think at some point you just need to like cut that off. At least force TaToH to work to get through it. And then maybe that means you're not like distracted there. You can take your stone and gold and get more of a push here. You probably wanted the Vietnamese late game, but we did not get there. TaToH with 68k resources collected. More of everything except wood. And yeah, we saw the res collected when Sobek made it to Castle Age. Like, Sobek made it to Castle Age with, like, what, 30-some vills? And TaToH had 55? Like, how are you supposed to stop that? And then TaToH went to 4 TCs right away. TaToH played so good. All right, so game 2. I got to just switch the colors here. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important to point this out, right? TaToH's home map, Cumans. The best civilization on that map, probably Cumans. The civilization TaToH won with last time he played Hideout, Cumans. Sobek didn't ban Cumans, right? This map, Coast to Mountain. Sobek played this map one single time. It was in the first round. He won that map, and he was playing as the Mongols. What did TaToH put on the ban list? Mongols. So I really like the approach from TaToH to just get rid of that. I think Mongols are as good here as Cumans are on Hideout. And he said, no, I want civilizations to be a bit closer. Live standings, TaToH at 9 wins. Even if he wins the next 2, he will still be 1 below Leary and Viper. So TaToH will be 3rd place in this group regardless. But $40 per win. Not bad, not bad. Berbers for Sobek here. And Malians for TaToH. Malians a bit better when it comes to the water aspect of this map. The fish are actually really far away from TaToH's dock, but I guess it's just the fish in general are so spaced out here. Berbers are better when it comes to grabbing the elephants from long distance or anything related to villagers moving around here. I'd expect a whole lot of stable units from the Berbers with the cheap camels and knights in Castle Age. So, like, Berbers on a map where players are usually TCing here and then heading to a wood line, which is far away, makes sense because of the villager speed. The ships are also even faster, so that's going to be slightly helpful. And then also on this map, you see lots of stable units. So I think what I have found to be the issue with Berbers, so I actually played... Well, I casted a ton of gold where this matchup happened. Actually, yeah, casted a ton of gold. Obviously, we've done a ton of platinum. And then I played a series versus a Spanish player named Tomate last week. Because I've been talking about the strategies, but I haven't been playing them. So I was like, hey, any top player want to play? Let's do it. And I feel like where the Berber struggle is in the transition to Camel Archer. I recall a game where Hera struggled too, I think against Persians. Because it's like, you feel like you should just go into like Knights and Camels and Castle. But what if the opponent goes Pike Push? What if the opponent goes for Monks? I think TaToH is going to be thinking when we see castles for TaToH, if we see castles for TaToH, I think he's going to be thinking about pushing with map control and dropping forward castles to treb down any of the castles that Sobek might get to. Now, also another thing is I think the Malians are really sick, not just at competing for water, but at transitioning towards land because their barracks, stables, ranges, all that stuff's cheap too. So we could see TaToH. There is as much a possibility for TaToH to go water than there is to go lands, and that kind of makes it tricky for Sobek to guess. And so the Camel Scout needs to be active in seeing what TaToH's doing. Berbers with the faster vills. I mean, if I had to pick one, I would say they're probably going to go out for the hunt, and they're going to make stuff on lands, but I don't know. Has anyone asked T90 how he's doing today? Well, yes. About 2 hours ago, and I said I'm doing good. Thank you, thank you. Jan says, I'm so sad TaToH or Doubt will be out so soon. 2 of my all-time favorites. Yeah, it is a bummer to see it. But it's just, you know, how cutthroat things can be with the playoff format, right? Had Doubt won his series against Yo, they would have missed each other. That would have gone directly to the quarters. Maybe they wouldn't have clashed. But apparently that happened last season. I think TaToH got second in his group last season. And TaToH got third as well, if I recall. So it's the same matchup as the round of 12 last time. At least that's what Nilly told me yesterday. We do not see a second dock from either player. We see TaToH going to golds. We see a barracks from Sobek. So Sobek not going to golds. Is going to feudal. So this will be a scout play from him. We could still see him make like one fire galley, but since he's not mining gold, he can't make more than that. So I expect TaToH to add a barracks here soon as well to think about land pressure. Really like the double lumber camp approach. I've been thinking about this. The wood lines are oftentimes like really awkward on this map if you just go with one lumber camp. But again, it's another reason why I think Malians are so good. And like Japanese are good too because of the cheaper lumber camps. But all of it's cheaper, guys. The dock, the house, the lumber camps, the mining camp. It's so nice. Why is this map never in the map pool, question mark? You mean like the ranked map pool? That would be a question for the devs. I feel like they could easily add it. It's a map that's been in a lot of other tourneys. I think there's been instances at times where they're like, if it's something that might be heavily associated with just one event, they might be worried about doing it without like asking people. It's not like I'm not approachable or others aren't approachable. That's a thing, but yeah, I mean, it's a fun map. I think this would be really fun at mid to low ranks, but that applies to a lot of other maps as well. Really tricky to play though. Like this map is chaotic. These guys make it look really easy. It's not. Fire galley from TaToH, to be expected. We talked about this. There's the second one on the way. So he will kill Sobek's fish eventually. Sobek running away though with his fishing ships. Did TaToH see the barracks? He saw the barracks, he saw the stable. So TaToH knows there's going to be pressure. He's adding his own barracks and own stable, and he's added a spearman. Sobek's scouts need to move out, in my opinion. I don't know why we're waiting so long with our scouts. He hasn't actually scouted with his camel scout to see anything TaToH's done. So he doesn't know if TaToH's open. He doesn't know if TaToH has army. And he should know that if TaToH's adding navy, that it's a good reason to go land. So I think that he probably was just a little hesitant to move forward until he had more scouts. And he's also focused on taking the hunt, placing the mills. He's got 2 mills on hunt now, getting the walls down. And again, easier said than done, right? Speaking of, TaToH quick walls. And TaToH's got 2 spearmen on the field. He had one protecting the walls. And then he's got one here. And it's just like so smooth from TaToH, right? Like there was a slight window there for Sobek. By the time he gets over here, TaToH's already safe. I think weird nomad starts in general, the devs would also be pretty resistant to doing for ladder because it's nomad starts are a bit uncommon and can be tricky for people. There's tons of neutral hunt here, Berserk Moose. It just, at this point, I don't think the players are going to take risks to take the neutral hunt. You don't want to go out too far. Transitioning towards farms makes sense. Let's see how Sobek defends himself now. So he has 1 spear. He knows TaToH had the scouts. He focused on the build-up. Here to do damage. He is walled as well, which will have been his focus. Now here comes TaToH. TaToH scouted the mill. He's been much more active with the camel scout. You can tell based on the scouting on the mini-map. Sobek has the faster vills. Sobek sees it, runs away. Well played, Sobek. Is also making another spear here. Why is Yo so much better than TaToH when they clash? I mean, if they're both in tip-top shape, I think Yo and TaToH have similar strategy, and Yo is maybe a bit better skill-wise. In TTL, Yo had better strategy every single game. Pretty much, I would say. And TaToH goes in, kills a villager. That series had so much hype around it, and I really felt like TaToH had kind of gotten by with winning from positions where maybe he could have been punished a bit more in earlier rounds. I actually think him losing to Yo that badly is really good for him, so he could look back at his strategy and say, I need to change that for the playoffs. But Yo, like, had perfect decision-making the whole way through. Everything felt so perfectly timed. Doubt it was rough. But we'll be excited to see what Doubt brings against TaToH. Close game here, guys. Res Collected's got to be even. And TaToH is ahead. Has added one more fishing ship on water. It's nothing that ridiculous, but they're both going to click up at the same time. And you know what's really tricky to check Res Collected on this map? Because a lot of that timing is down to when the hunts dropped off. Like, here there's 40 food, and here there's 100. So I don't know how much food is being held by TaToH, but TaToH's just done a slightly better job. Both players walled up, both players on stables, both players with good stable units. And this will still probably go late game. On Liquipedia, head-to-head numbers for Doubt versus Yo, 22 wins, 46 losses. Yeah. Like I said, I think, you know, they're both similar where they're not the fastest players, but Yo is faster than Doubt, and I think Yo is also more consistent than Doubt. Doubt has times where it's like, oh my god, how's he still do it? And then other times you're like, okay, well, bit of an off day for Doubt. the duality of the Lord. Yeah, exactly. Now, this is been active, don't get me wrong. They have worked hard. It's not easy. It is far from it, but you know, TaToH has just killed more. Sobek has to keep track of this. You could tell he wanted to push forward to hit TaToH. A little worried about it, though, because TaToH's here. TaToH getting forging for his scouts, something that Sobek could consider as well. Not seeing a blacksmith for him. He actually went for a market. So TaToH goes bloodlines. TaToH goes forging. And he's going light cav here. And TaToH's just run right through. Sobek was never in any real rush to get the walls down. Sobek has to be careful here. He is adding camels, though, to defend from this. And he drops TC number 2, TC number 3. Honestly, well played. Considering he wants to use the market to maybe help balance out his eco. Sobek, quick walls, very well played. Very well played. Even TaToH hit the other wall, too. Really like this from Sobek. The camels should mean he's okay. I think TaToH knows, okay, I've tried to do damage here. It's not going to happen for me. Let's just use the light cav so I can get the relics. TaToH dropping TC number 2 over here and TC number 3 over here. God, isn't this map sick? Like, when this is really being played at a high level, it's so cool how well they transition into things, man. It's like, they've had to take hunt, they've had to take water, they've had to now farm, and they have to time their upgrades. So cool. Still do feel like this area is the most important area. So, you know, right now, it's not really an area you can pressure because they're investing so much into eco, but things to think about. Someone says, I have a dumb strat question. Why don't people kill hunt with military as a laming strat to prevent someone from collecting hunt? That does happen. Keep in mind, scouts can't kill scouts can't kill hunt. So, like, right now, for example, Sobek can't be using his scouts to do that. Otherwise, that would happen all the time. Only spearmen or like, infantry and ranged units can do it. Well, it's actually not true. Knights can do it. Wait, can knights do it? I think knights and camels can do it. The scout line can't. Anyways, so that's a big part of it. It does happen. It's just oftentimes it's kind of seen as not worth it. Militia will do it sometimes on some maps. But yeah, it's a good idea to mix it into your repertoire. There's going to be TC number 4 for TaToH, so he knows it's going to be a big boom game here. I don't hate the decision. Light Cav looking for relics. TaToH scouted the map earlier. He knows there was a relic over there. What great attentiveness from TaToH. And he goes, bam, dead monk. And TaToH already has one monk. And look at that from TaToH. Guys, he killed a camel with Light Cav and then saves the weak ones. What in the world? That micro is disgusting, man. Like, I could hope to maybe realize the monk is there and kill the monk and then lose 3 Light Cav. And they still have 4 TCs. This economy is insane. And obviously, he's going to have a monk out soon, too, so the camel might not even be able to continue. Sobek knows that. Sobek backs away. Dang. It looks like TaToH also simultaneously killed the 2 scouts here from Sobek and is getting this relic. This guy's insane. The monk barely survives. Unfortunate for Sobek. 1 HP. It's like, give me a break. But Berber monks do not get sanctity, so they are weaker than the Malian monks right now. And this would be where maybe Sobek could make a few more units on the field, but it's tough. It's like if you make camels, because there's cav out, and you have cheap camels, TaToH then has the monks. And then who knows what he's able to accomplish with that. Another monk here. TaToH sees it, gets on the other side of it, blocks it, kills it. 13 to 3 KD for TaToH. This is so wild. The guy's just so good. Like, Sobek's not doing a bad job. Sobek's an amazing player. He's had a great game yet again, but it's like all these tiny things. It's just like TaToH is just slightly pulling ahead in every category. He's so clean. He's such a crazy talent. And like, we're talking about TaToH in relation to DauT because they're going to play in the playoffs. Based on what I saw from DauT in the group stage and TaToH in the group stage, especially, I guess, with this series, I'm kind of worried for DauT there, man. Like, TaToH's insane. And it's hard to out-strategize TaToH, and that's where DauT would shine, right, is the strategy. I think we'll have a lot of YOLO plays in that series from DauT. Because I think if the game goes super late, I think that TaToH, he's in amazing shape right now. 4th TC for Sobek. He's running over with the fast fills there. Trying to just snag this relic real quick, and what do you know? TaToH's here. 2 light cav here. Light cav here. More monks are going to go down. You cannot move out with these old, frail men if you're Sobek. Because they will die. That camel has to be deleted because that'll get converted. How does this man do this? How is he able to macro on 4 TCs with this eco balance? Like, everything is borderline perfect. The gold is banking up to go in, but it's not too much on gold. The stone income's coming in, so he could potentially get a castle. He did transfer off of the stone, but this is amazing. And now he's dropping more stables for more army. Here, Sobek wants to kill that monk. TaToH. This is a very TaToH thing to do. Loses the monk. That's not the TaToH thing to do, but the additional light cav spam. And TaToH is going to get relic number 3. Yeah, this is a patented TaToH thing on big, boomy, long-distance maps. He will go for like 3 stables and then add more army before imp. He loves to do that. Because he catches your opponent off guard. They're going to click up the imp here, and it punishes their lack of army. And oh man, TaToH, more monks! No! He kills more monks! Oh god, Sobek tried to get him to the TC, and now units are in, and now you don't have army. It's like, I can't catch a break against this guy. Castle's going up, and look at all the red moving across the map from TaToH. And guys, we talked about it earlier. TaToH wants a castle in a forward position. The villagers are already on the way. I think Sobek, he simply didn't expect this, and now he needs to make camels, but best of luck to you here, Sobek. He hasn't been able to click up yet. He does have those cheap camels, of course, so that's exciting. TaToH, though, just pulls the units right to his monks that are just waiting there. It's just really insane. This guy is something else. So I always said, like, if I could be an Age of Empires player tomorrow, I think I'd go for, like, TaToH or Yo, because the combination of, like, skill and strategy. I probably have to go Viper for, like, the quick walls for a day, just to see what that's like. And some of the masterpieces. But, I mean, this guy's just fun to watch, dude. It's kind of a beatdown on poor Sobek. He's playing amazing. I hope we all recognize that. But TaToH is just simply fun to watch, man. Emperor says that's what happens when you don't finish your walls. Well, that's not exactly true, though, right? Because, like, TaToH's been open as well. It's just TaToH's been able to control the game a little bit better. And this is not the imp TC for Sobek. He's gone for the back TC, which is great. And he will be thinking about going for camels now, as he adds more stables after losing 2 of them. TaToH never scouted this. The farm thing is a spectator thing, so he will find this and maybe have to think about castling that. He isn't pushing the hill at all, though. He's pushing the middle. Awkward. Okay, neither player's noticed. They're just going to sit here in peace. We need more peace in this world, you know? TaToH's actually making petards. Does he think that's the imp TC for Sobek? What's the deal here? Maybe he wants to take this TC out. I mean, those villagers are all going to die. There's nothing to protect them right now. Well, that's not true. The camels are on the way. Lots of upgrades are missing, though. And TaToH 90 seconds away from imp. Sobek 30 seconds away from imp. Camel numbers will be in a decent enough spot. And thankfully for him, the camels are cheap, as he drops even another castle. Sobek's got a chance. The trebs, the camels, all that could be helpful. Because TaToH continues to make Cavalier here. So that was the downside of TaToH doing what he's done here. But he's got enough upgrades where I think he could even fight the camels. He's got enough numbers and enough upgrades. Poor Sobek. Able to get away with the villagers at least. But now where are these guys going? They're going into no man's land. A little surprised that TaToH's not just making his own camels to match it, because the Farimba upgrade could make his camel superior. So there is a bit of a risk involved to just going straight cav against heavy camel. But I mean, he's got a lot of cav in queue and a lot on the field right now. And TaToH is queuing up camels now. Okay, so that answers that. Outposting this area. This fight for Sobek could be better soon. That's kind of tough. It's like you want to wait for heavy camel, but then TaToH is just going to bring more numbers. TaToH at 200 pop. Sobek gets the hill. That's a fight. That's okay, because you're still have decent enough upgrades. You're still camel versus knight. It just sucks, because you're still going to lose it. Like, TaToH's got so much. Quick walls, holy. But still not quick walled on the other side. This is where you're also making trebs to push this castle. It's just like... These camels are needed here. He's going to show the camels here. Now TaToH, is he going to dive in? Is he going to take the fight against heavy camel? Well, he's going to take the fight. And, well, I think Sobek is mainly GGing because he knows TaToH's an imp now. That's the main thing. Is he realized the second he got pushed in that moment that he was screwed, I'm sure. And yeah, he could probably stabilize this and clear this up. But the guy doesn't have long-term access to really any resource. And any treb that would pop out would just get immediately sniped by TaToH's camels and cav that he was making on the other side. And Farimba upgrade is on the way, so the +5 attack would come in. And yeah, this is just... TaToH going beast mode. TaToH up 2-0. Again, I guess the positive for Sobek is he was already relegated. He didn't need wins today, per se. And I felt like you could see like him trying to play a similar type of game. You know, play into land, play into eco. But TaToH just better at every little tiny movement. Slightly better execution. I also think that Berbers not having an eco bonus showed here. The Malian flexibility made it easier for TaToH to afford all the buildings and afford all the TCs. Malians are, behind Mongols, the best pick for this map, in my opinion. Could make an argument for Japanese, maybe, or Persians. But there's a reason that TaToH picked this civilization. He has a lot of faith in them for a reason. All right, TaToH's gone for the Chinese. So TaToH lost against Leary on this map when Leary was Chinese. He then, the next series, picked Chinese and won. And now he's going with Chinese again. So Chinese really strong for him. Really strong on Golden Pit. It's all about the clean start for TaToH, and it looks good here. Sobek's gone for the Portuguese. This is the civ that I think I would have gone for. Because... it's really the one civ that can do double gold army in Castle Age, like crossbow and knight, or crossbow knight monk. Like, it's so easy for the Portuguese to make lots of gold units. So I really do like the Portuguese. The struggle against the Chinese, though, is if they have a clean start, they're going to have a Vil lead against you. So you're under some type of pressure to do some damage in Feudal Age. And it's like, how are you planning on doing that with the Portuguese? We'll see. Could be quite a few things. I love how honest you are. What? Do you want me to say that, like... You want me to lie and say that I didn't dodge Viper, my internet went out? Like I said, I had lost 4 games in a row, all right? I think we all know who wins if Viper plays me in ranked, right? I lost 4 games in a row. I was feeling really annoyed with my ability because I casted TTL for like, you know, I'm casting all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, optimal play. Let's go. And I go in and I was getting beat bad and I was struggling. It was on my off day when I probably shouldn't have been playing anyways because I've been doing like 60-hour weeks on Age and I've been destroying my health. So it's like, I know I probably should like go touch grass. And then the game's like, you're up. The dashboard shows him up against Viper. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not in the mood to be flexed on right now by Viper. But again, to reiterate, I didn't know that he was going to do the U-pudding, right? So like, once I dodged him, I pulled up his stream because I knew he was streaming. And that's where I said I was dodging, but I didn't know he was going to U-pudding me, so. Oh, God. Hold on. The colors are... I'm sorry. I've been... TaToH's in the red on the left, and then Sobek's in the blue on the right. I'm so sorry. We just confused you guys. You guys got to pay more attention, all right? No one really brought it up. Someone says, Golden Pit feels like older version of El Dorado. Well, old El Dorado's actually... It's older than Golden Pit. Golden Pit is relatively new. But it's very different, right? Because El Dorado, the water's really important. There's no water here. And then also there's 6 tiles of gold on the hill. Whereas El Dorado just has 2 tiles. It is similar in that there's a lot of stone and gold in the middle, but it's very different. Because then when you're in the middle, you're at the bottom of a hill, which means you take more damage. And also, it is realistic that both players could have TCs in the middle, because it's more spread out here too. So, at first glance, it seems like it's similar, but I would say it's actually quite different. TBH, I've watched Viper's U-pudding games, and he doesn't all-in enough. Well, that makes sense, right? For a player like Viper, he's going to have a bit more eco behind it. Whereas, like, U-pudding and the White Phosphor guy, they truly go all in with it. But, yeah, it's been fun, man, to, like, show people U-pudding and make videos about that. And it's also been really fun to see, you know, how quickly it's caught on. Like, I feel like it reminds me of when I showed everyone Huang. And then Huang started to catch on, and everyone was like, Huang, Huang, you know, with the whole Celt ETC. And, I mean, I made videos on Huang back in the Hun War days. But then people really found out on DE once he found the Celts. Alright, so TaToH's going to go Scouts here, if you're wondering what his build is here. It should be the same for Sobek. And Sobek should have his timings down. They'll be up at the same time. But, like, honestly, guys, it's like... Previous game is a bit different. You can't ban that many sips. But, like... TaToH's gonna feel inevitable against a player like Sobek maybe anyways. But... Like, Chinese... and Cumans are so good. Chinese here... And then Cumans on hideout just feels like in some ways, this is speaking real early, like watch Sobek completely out-execute TaToH here. But it feels like in some ways, you're not doing yourself any favors here. Giving TaToH Chinese here, not trying to at least lame him in Dark Age, and then giving TaToH Cumans for hideout. But again, like, the best players make things feel inevitable. The best players make me want to say things like that, because then I'm just like, dude, what are you expected to do? Because it's TaToH. And so, that's kind of how I feel, because of how good TaToH's been. Sobek just going to wall up. Most likely just going to think about Castle Age here, both of them. But, I mean, if that's the case, then Scouts behind walls definitely prefer the Chinese. But you know, Sobek probably is lacking faith to do anything. Like, in the previous game, he showed up to TaToH's base with Scouts, and TaToH just swatted it away like he was a fly. Pretty greedy walls here, but could be pretty epic if Sobek could eventually get these walls down. He'd have both of his golds in the back, his stone here, his stone here. This would actually be an amazing setup. I actually completely... I'm going to change my tone here. If you can get these walls down, you go for it. Portuguese eco is pretty smooth as well. And then in Castle Age, you could maybe have a big, like, double gold composition army. Spearman here is protecting. He'll wall that up. He can wall this now. And that's the only exposed area. So, yeah, really passive game right now. But this is good stuff. And then TaToH just has his scouts protecting the walls, too. Removing the Celt Dark Age speed was criminal. I agree. I agree with you. I'm curious to see what the devs do with the Sicilians. Because, again, I'm not saying this is the right thing. But I feel as though there is some level of precedent that was set in the past. They might change their thinking. But with the nerf to tower rushing, so now tower rushing really isn't a strong strategy anymore, unless you're, new and really confused by it. With the removal of the Celt Dark Age speed bonus, with the removal of Incan villagers getting armor and feudal, to me, there's a precedent that they don't like off-meta stuff early, right? They don't really like the crazy stuff. And they're prone to being like, nope, that's different from that. I think we need to change it. The Celts, it was a knee-jerk reaction probably because a bunch of pros, you guys don't see it, but a bunch of pros were just like, whoa, dude, just getting real tilted about it. So I think they wanted to appease them, but I would like to see the Sicilians still have that all-in potential. And at least for a while, right? See people figure it out. Because we're already seeing, I try it. I've lost every time I've tried it. It takes a special type of play. So I would like to see it stay and see people just try and figure it out. I don't think it's necessarily... I think any all-in strategy, it is the most successful time for it is the first time when people don't know it's coming. But then when you know it's coming, you could kind of prep for it, which is fun in my opinion. Anyways, that's our first death right there. We haven't had much else happen. We've got double range for Sobek, who will click up soon. He's heavily on gold. This will be double range crossbow. TaToH at home, already on one range. He will probably go double range as well. Both these civs, really good at going double range crossbow. Could combine it with knights as well. TaToH's up first. I would love to see what pros were saying to the devs about Celts and Huang Rush. I'm sure you can imagine. So double range and the Castle Ages later against one range and the Castle Ages earlier. Honestly, there's not a huge difference in this. I think the main difference is TaToH will actually opt for eco because we're not seeing the second range. I think we might just see town centers from TaToH. Should you build your production buildings forward? Yeah, it's completely fine to build them forward. What you could also do is you could build the range, you could hide them, and you could make a gate on the front. But it doesn't feel like a game where the players really felt like knights was going to work anyways. The Portuguese player would never really make knights because the Chinese have camel. And I guess the Chinese could go knights, but it feels better to boom and make crossbow. I can't really break it all down, but this is almost always going to go crossbow or when players are walled like this. Scout's still active. Scouting other areas of the map that may or may not matter later on. And we have crossbow. We have Bodkin for TaToH, who only has 5 crossbows and is adding his second range, but then opts for the second TC a bit faster. Remember, techs are cheaper for the Chinese. The farms that he built all had horse color on them. So, the food income is going to be really good for those TCs. And Sobek, he will have his crossbows, his upgrades coming in soon. Sick up times, right? TaToH was sub 19 minutes off this, and Sobek at 19 minutes without the market. And Sobek drops the TC as well. And then, if there's a university, is the next thing, and it will be a university for TaToH. So this, honestly, this feels like 2.5, 3 years ago meta, where it's like add the TCs and then add the university. Whereas these days, people are like, rush ballistics, low eco. But yeah, really smooth from TaToH. Has to recover with numbers, obviously, but he's house walled here. He's fortifying here. Like, he's making it so he can't be broken. And if he has the ballistics upgrade, he could just dodge Sobek's shots, and Sobek won't have that. But Sobek will have 3 TCs, so we'll see. TaToH won't have ballistics for a bit, loses his scout. He won't know if Sobek has ballistics. To be clear, I really like Sobek's approach of adding the TCs as well, especially against the Chinese. It's just, it does feel like in a crossbow where the university has to be something you think about. And he's thinking about it now. And he will know as he runs that TaToH has ballistics. And now, yeah, this is him trying to dodge some shots. So TaToH going to take control. I think TaToH might come middle now, actually, for that next town center. I could see it, because one of his golds is currently outside of his walls at home. Sobek has done a decent job considering he doesn't have ballistics, but it's not fun. TaToH just patrols and adds eco at home. And for Sobek, you've got to focus a lot more on the micro. And TaToH will actually TC here. Close game. Sobek will want a lot more than 2 wins. This will be the final game for TaToH and Sobek in the group stage. Sobek will be relegated. He's able to get away here. And he has more crossbows here on the hill. Ballistics for him hasn't been clicked yet. He is on stone as well. Needs to get ballistics. He's got the gold, just needs the wood for it. And there's... Oh, TaToH's going to build the TC here instead. Interesting. And he goes for a siege workshop, which makes sense if both players have archers. It's like TaToH is basically first to ballistics. He's also going to be first to the siege and first to the middle. But he will be behind in villagers because Sobek has the 3 TCs. And TaToH's not on stone. So honestly, quite close in a lot of categories here. I think Sobek also wants a siege workshop. I think he just caught a glimpse that TaToH is here. And yeah, now they will both have the ballistics upgrade. And TaToH's crossbows, though, need to meet up with the new crossbows. TaToH's done a good job of producing consistently. Res collected. What is it? It's very close. Yeah, I like the picks from both of them. I think both these civs are really good. Nice micro there from Sobek. Sick. But loses the crossbow anyways. So, you know, TaToH taking a bit more risk perhaps to be in the middle, but I like the decision, and I like the Town Watch upgrade as well. You can always just use this gold as a fallback if you need to. He is thinking maybe Sobek will come this direction. Sobek, as I try to click the spearman and misclick, thought maybe he was going to head here. But TaToH has made it very difficult for Sobek to break him. Now, if TaToH didn't have the siege, Sobek could conceivably make similar amounts of crossbows. And then just walk forward and castle the middle. But it's not similar amounts of crossbows with both players micro here. TaToH has more of them. And this could be rough for Sobek. Sobek really needs to consider a siege workshop here. It might not be able to think about a castle in the middle right now. Siege workshop is up, actually. So it could be okay. Again, Sobek showing a skill, right? Sobek showing how good he is. Could easily see with 1 or 2 shots with his Mangonel on TaToH's Mangonel. And then a castle in the middle, TaToH could fall apart. But TaToH's also on stone. So it's like... This feels like TaToH's slightly ahead, right? It reminds me so much of the previous game in that aspect. Just Sobek a beast, TaToH an even bigger beast. And they just make it look way easier than it truly is. And it's just the tiny decisions from TaToH I love. The Town Watch, the outposting. And there's, we'll drop his castle. Nice and early here. If that castle goes up and you see it, you may wish to place your castle here and click Imp. I think, like, the second both players have a castle anywhere near the middle, Imperial Age is the next thing on the list. Sobek is Beast, TaToH is Dragon. I like that. Well, we could see the market be used here. TaToH's still pretty heavy on stone at home. And TaToH, now that he has the middle secured, this is also so good. He's like, middle secured? I bet you he's on this gold. Let me pressure here. Look at Sobek, though. Use the market. I like that. Sobek will click to imp first. Sobek doesn't see the castle. He sees he's being attacked here. This might make him panic a little bit. And oh, he goes home because of it. And he went into the castle fire and could have got rocked there. He will now drop his own castle, which TaToH can see. TaToH is in. Sobek has to pull the siege back, but he also needs to defend the castle. Sobek's shot misses. TaToH didn't know anything about that one, so that's unfortunate. TaToH sees this. TaToH dodges it. TaToH hits the vills, though, so the castle might go up, but TaToH's looking here. Sobek with the shot. Does he have the army to defend against TaToH here? He has the siege. Good micro. And TaToH's army now going to get pulled into the back corner. And Sobek, if he kills this army and is also in the Imperial Age, could give TaToH some big problems. TaToH loses a crossbow and the mangonel. Sobek is in the middle with one castle. TaToH still hasn't clicked imp. Here this fight will be close. TaToH will take the crossbow v crossbow trade. He's happy with that. What he doesn't want is to lose all of his crossbows without killing the enemy crossbows. And so he's trying his best to get value and micro, but Sobek... Yeah, honestly, just leave the crossbows be. Make some more your own crossbows and push forward. If it wasn't for the name, I would prefer Sobek's position. Well, take it back. I still prefer Sobek's position. Like, Sobek's position is just superior here. There's no doubt about it. He's got more crossbowmen. He's going to be an imp in 50 seconds. Res collected, I'm sure, is somewhat close, and I'm sure TaToH has the potential to hold because he has collected more resources of everything, actually, but the Trebs are going to be out super early for Sobek. And even just Bracer for the crossbows could give Sobek a lot of opportunity. Has to be careful here, though. He has to go deal with this. TaToH with a big villager lead. Sobek not reacting here, which is surprising to me. Really surprising to me. Yeah, I did notice it. Must have been distracted. Maybe this was... Oh, he probably was looking here, and this attack was happening at the same time. That would be my guess. It sent these villagers here before he had noticed. TaToH masonry now. Sobek does not have any gold income. He could take these two tiles, but he can't because TaToH has siege there, which is wild. No relics for Sobek. Can TaToH hold? TaToH has better wood eco. He has better food eco. He has better gold eco. He has better stone eco. He's going to place his third castle here. Now, TaToH needs to just keep some of these castles up just so we can make trebs. That's the main thing. And Sobek needs these trebs to be hitting the castles now. Sobek will have 2 trebs before TaToH can even make one. Maybe even 3. TaToH is being so annoying here. The fact that Sobek can't take this gold actually hurts him so much. He's selling wood instead for pretty rough prices. Love the fact that for Sobek, these trebs are on the hill. And yeah, he will have 3 trebs before TaToH can even make one. Now, TaToH's going to be on skirms, but Sobek is making bombard cannons. It's so easy in low eco approaches to forget that sometimes. I like that from Sobek. I also like this. Villagers chasing Mangonel. Honestly, just leave 2 to do the job here, Sobek. TaToH's going to bring army over, so you might die, villagers. But hey, worth it so you can go back home and take gold. There you go. TaToH's an imp. He's making trebs, but can he make this treb? If you make this treb, it'd be really nice. But the hill trebuchets have something to say. He's not going to do it. Nope. So now he's going to have 2 trebs against 3. And this castle's already going to start to be trebs down. No hill bonus for Sobek, though, on these other trebs. As Sobek will drop a castle of his own. Now, TaToH's got a lead skirm. So, TaToH's army here isn't something Sobek can engage on with his crossbows. But Sobek will have bombard cannons, which TaToH cannot make with the Chinese. and the bombard cannons could take down TaToH's Trebs. What a close game. And TaToH's on Skirm, right? So if it's all open field, Skirm dominate. But it's the castles that's the most important thing, and TaToH's going to lose another castle. Sobek needs to make a bit more in the way of siege here, but he doesn't actually have a lot of gold income. TaToH thinking about diving in. Sobek making skirms here to deal with that. No elite skirm upgrade yet. Actually costs wood and gold to get that. About as much as a trebuchet, so it's kind of tricky. TaToH pulling over here to the hill to get over here to take out Sobek's castle. And he's also sitting here, so Sobek can't take the gold. But Sobek could take the middle gold for now. And what an interesting move from TaToH to roll up onto the hill. This is brilliant. Instead of just taking the fight, which is going to benefit the opponent where the bombard cannons are. I mean, it's brilliant. But Sobek still could end up... Oh, God, that was so close. Still could end up holding all control of the middle. Bombard cannon still here to hit some shots. Sobek's castle goes down. Town bell from TaToH. Oh my god. Is that a strategy to distract the opponent with the annoying rings? It's distracting me. Both players about to be off gold in the middle. I mean, TaToH has mined way more gold in the middle. That's key. And he has way more villagers. He's still mining the gold in the middle. Like, the TC's not down yet. The castle's not down yet. Sobek's really focused on trying to get his army numbers. Those two bomber cannons are so important right now. Because they need to protect this castle. TaToH's castle will go down. TaToH's TC will go down. He's just made mining camps here. He's like, I don't care. It's really interesting. But now TaToH can't take Sobek's castle here. So TaToH's going to go for the hill eco. He's like, all right, fine. I'm going to lose gold. But I'm going to make a bunch of skirms and light calf. I've had enough gold to make trebs. So he's just going to go skirms and light calf here. Sobek clearly has gone over here to try and take out the trebuchets, but his bomber cannons have been forgotten for a moment as he's still pushing the middle. And now he doesn't have the bomber cannons, which means TaToH's trebs can continue to take out the buildings. TaToH getting upgrades for the light calf. Sobek, he might have the gold soon, but he might not have much to do with it. And TaToH just doesn't care, actually. This is funny. He's just taking it anyways. Wow. And some skirms have gone back into Sobek's eco. Sobek would have to send his own skirms to go deal with that. TaToH just drops another castle here, and he trebs down another castle from Sobek. Sobek just seems stuck right now, guys. It's like, if he pushes forward, TaToH's going to push him. He has to kill this and kill this at the same time, and he just can't do it all. He is finally has army here. I feel like this could have happened a little bit earlier for Sobek, possibly, but again, he's been distracted. This fight isn't too bad for Sobek, because he's on the hill and has bomber cannons waiting. What a close game. This is going to catch up with Sobek, though. TaToH just on another gold. Still has this gold back here. What a game. Bombard cannon is important. TaToH now has the hill, so Sobek should back up so he has the hill bonus again. Like, you have the hill bonus, I have the hill bonus. Skirms definitely did damage. TaToH killed 33 villagers in this game from Sobek. TaToH killed another bombard cannon. Sobek's got more on the way. Light Cav now going to come out. This is where Sobek starts to have problems. This is where Sobek needs more Arbalest. He needs more Arbs, and he needs to make sure that he's killing the skirms with the cannons. If he has just Arb cannon, in theory it can work. So easy for TaToH's Light Cav to find little nooks and crannies in Sobek's eco, though, and to find value. And TaToH has kept these trebs alive. Sobek in the south, no clue what he's doing here. But he is in the south with some stuff. He's here as well. He's probably thinking about relics or, you know, sneak TCs or something. TaToH's just got a ridiculous army. He does have some Arbs, but it's just skirms, Light Cav, trebs. TaToH's over here now? Oh, Sobek's in trouble. TaToH focus firing down the Arbalest. The Light Cav now come in to take the trebs. And honestly, they focus down the bombard cannons too. It could be over. And the GG's called. What on earth, man? Normally when someone's in the Imperial Age faster, they're able to win this game with the trebuchets. TaToH lost like 4 castles in the middle, but his eco behind this was so good. He just kept producing. He was wisely snuck over here to the hill, wisely ran into the eco, and he was just finding his spots. He's like, fine, take my castles. But I'm going to take this one. What are you going to do about it? And then Sobek's like, oh, I need to defend this. I need my army here. What's TaToH doing the whole time? Taking gold with mining camps. Then suddenly it's like, okay, you got your skirms here. You're taking TaToH's villagers. Well, then TaToH's pushing the middle. TaToH's at your base. It's like TaToH will always go. It's like you gain an advantage in one location. He will have an advantage in some other aspect, whether that's eco or positioning. He's just so good. Honestly, I want to say hats off to Sobek. Great series, though. He came in here knowing he's relegated. There's no way he could save himself. Could be dejected because he only had 2 wins in this group. But honestly, I think he showed how skilled he is. And I don't think people are going to be... I think people will look at this and be like, okay, I can see how he could have gotten promoted. Because TaToH is one of the best players in our game. He will be back down to gold, which will be, an opportunity for him to potentially get promoted again next season. Great series. TaToH ends with 11 wins in the group. Just 1 behind Leary and 1 behind Viper. TaToH will go to the playoffs and face TaToH, which we already knew before this. But just to officially put on record the results here. Man, if TaToH would not have lost that game to Classic Pro, we actually would have had a 3-way tie at the top. But yeah, 12 wins for Viper, 12 wins for Leary, 11 wins for TaToH, 5 for Classic Pro, who will be back in Platinum next season. Vivi and Sobek, they are relegated back down to gold for Season 4.